we go. Thank you. Sorry about that, Don. I did it to kind of get you. Would have been 10 out of 10, but there was this horrible music in the background. But I started Kadalyst because there is a lack of personalized care in medicine and in healthcare. And there's no continuity. People are just so frustrated that that doesn't exist. And it is my mission in life to educate people about the intricacies of pain, because too often I have people who come to see me who have gone and gotten unnecessary surgeries, who have gone and they are just on way too many medications, who feel like the medical system has completely just left them out to dry. And that's something that I couldn't stand for. So this event is a response to that. And that's why I'm going to be doing this for the next year, the next 5 years, 10 years, however long I am able to do it. And my goal is to educate as many people in Monterey County as possible, starting with you lovely people here. So why should you care about how to think about pain? You could literally save somebody's life, right? So we think about pain in such a way where if you watched or read the blog post that I sent out in an email, it was about this person named Sam. And Sam was a person, she worked as a checker at a grocery store, and she rotated one day and twisted in a way that she maybe, thought she maybe shouldn't have done. And she felt this grabbing, aching pain in her back. It just shot through, incredibly painful. She hadn't experienced something like this before. This was something new to her. So the only experience that she actually had of this was of her mom. And her mom ended up in a wheelchair and couldn't walk more than 20 feet. Right? So immediately she goes to this worst case scenario, right? Well, I'm just going to end up like my mom. I'm just going to end up like this. And how often do we do that, right? All the time. We're going to talk about that a little bit and how to avoid going down that road. Now, it didn't help that she went to her healthcare provider, and this person spent 5 minutes with her, told her, hey, you need to go get an MRI, even though there was no indication for it. And here, take this medication, and I'll see you later. Like you'll be all right. Instead of sharing with her that this pain that she was experiencing was something that was common, something that was going to get better with time, something that with a little bit of reassurance that she would have felt okay with it. Like, it doesn't mean that it wouldn't have continued to bother her for a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, but ultimately it's not something that required her to go get surgery, go get imaging, take a bunch of prescription meds for it, but she didn't get that, right? So that's a problem. And I'm sure a lot of you here have experienced some sort of care like that. And I know I have. And I don't want any of you to ever have to deal with that ever again. So with this information today and the information that we're going to be going through in the next couple months, this is going to help protect you guys from these horrible decisions and this horrible care that oftentimes we can get. And if some of you have questions, these 3x5 cards, they're sticky notes. I thought they were actually 3x5 cards. I was like in a mad rush at Target, like, these are the last things I gotta get. And I just, 3x5 cards? Okay, I'm gonna grab them. So they're 3x5 cards. So you can hang them up if you need to. Yeah. So if I don't get to everything, please ask a question at the end. There will be plenty of time for that. And if still your question is not answered sufficiently, I will make a video. I make lots of videos about pain. I make lots of videos about different conditions. And so I will make sure to do that for you, and I will send it directly to you. And please hold your questions to the end, because my brain goes like this, and I got a spaghetti brain. So there's no telling where it'll go if everyone starts asking questions. So please hold to the end. Here's 4 things that we're going to learn today. One, pain is an alarm system that alerts us to something potentially dangerous. Potentially dangerous. So you can think of pain like a smoke detector in your home. Okay. Number two, the oh shit moment. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that one. The inevitability of pain. Sounds pretty daunting, right? It's okay. It's not that bad. And then bonus, some practical advice for people who want to be active with pain. Okay? So pain is an alarm system, right? It alerts us to something that is potentially dangerous. Okay? Potentially dangerous. So picture this. It is 2 a.m. Okay? You're in your house, and the smoke alarm starts to go off. Well, it's probably not a good thing unless your kid or your dog is trying to cook something up in the kitchen. Okay, it's probably not a good thing. So you open your door to try to find out what it is, and there is literally a blazing fire. It is a blazing inferno. You need to get out. You need to get out, call the fire department, do what you got to do, but you got to get out of that place. It's a dangerous event, right? So don't be like this guy. Okay, just saying it's fine. Okay, it's not. It's fire. You've got to get out. Okay. Scenario two. It's the morning. You're hungry. You want to make some toast. Okay. So you get your bread, and maybe it's that Ezekiel bread. You know that the thin Ezekiel bread. What are the other ones? There's like the Dave's bread, some other ones, but they're really thin, right? So if you turn the toaster up too high, it's really easy to burn it. Really, really easy to burn it. And you just happen to make some toast the night before because you just like bread, you like carbs. And you forgot to turn down the dial, right? So you put that bread in there, you turn it on, you slide it down, and you walk away and you just forget about it because we don't watch our toast. That would be weird. So you hear the smoke alarm start going off, right? And you hear the toast come up. And you look at your toast and you smell that awful smell, and you've got this dang burnt toast in your house. And that smoke alarm is going off. And it just smells foul. Now your day is just ruined. You're like, oh my gosh, I got this burnt toast, and what am I going to do now? It's frustrating. It's just uncomfortable. Pain is a lot like that, right? You have times where it is a fire, and you've got to get out. You've got to get immediate surgical intervention or immediate medical attention. And then you've got times where it is burnt toast. It's not to say burnt toast isn't frustrating, because it is. I don't like burnt toast. I don't think any of you like burnt toast. Maybe you do. I don't know. I want to know. Maybe Dan does. You don't like burnt toast, Dan? Okay, good, because that'd be weird. But there's two scenarios, right? So I'll give you an example of a fire in my life and a non-fire, some burnt toast. So I was playing football when I was 15. I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I was a running back. Okay, I'm tall, and I am an object that people want to hit because I'm also not that big, and just think of me 50 pounds lighter. 50 pounds lighter. I'm skinny, right? I'll be very skinny with that. So I'm running up the middle, and this guy, he tackles me, right? But he tackles me in such a way where he puts his helmet into my back, right? Yeah, it didn't feel good. So he puts his helmet into my back, and I immediately fall onto the ground, and I am writhing in pain. I feel nauseous and painful. It's just bad. So I go home. Not the next day, that would be bad. I go home that same night, and I have to use the restroom. I use the restroom, and the toilet bowl is red, right? The toilet bowl is red, and it's not good. Something is bleeding on the inside. That was a fire. I went to the ER. Turns out I had a torn kidney. Yeah, had a torn kidney. Thankfully, it did not require surgery. But if it was large enough, it might have. Or it could have been a ruptured spleen. It could have been a lot of different things. So that was a time where I definitely needed to do that. The second scenario was fast forward to 2017, and I was competing in my first powerlifting competition. I am a one-trick pony. I can only deadlift heavy, so I deadlifted 617 pounds. That was fun. I've been working at that for a long time. And it was fine, right? Did that, no problem, no pain. A week later, I'm getting back to training, because usually you'll take a week off or so when you've done a heavy training block. And I'm deadlifting about 315 pounds, half of what my maximum is, right? Should have been no problem, no issue. But on my 4th repetition, I'm picking it up, and immediately I had this just grabbing, searing back pain, like 10 out of 10. I dropped the weight. I had to sit. I could barely even sit. It was that type of back pain where you have to lie on your back to put your pants on. And I literally had to do that, like, for a week. I was laying on my back. You can't do the normal, like, jumping up and down, putting your pants on type deal. So I had to literally lay on my back, right? Now, some of you may think that, no, that's a fire. Like, that's a fire that needs to be put out. But thankfully, at that point, I was a physical therapist. I had worked with a lot of people who'd had back pain at that time. I knew that the mechanism of what happened was not necessarily dangerous, right? So the getting hit in the back with a helmet is dangerous, right? Like, and I started to bleed from the inside. That was dangerous. If you lift something heavy, or you just turn and twist, like our example with Sam, that's not necessarily a dangerous thing, right? It might cause a lot of discomfort and pain. Maybe our body just wanted to rebel against us that day. I don't know exactly what caused that issue that day where I had that searing back pain with the deadlifting. Could have been that I didn't sleep as well that night. Could have been I was just stressed out, or it could have just been a random occurrence, right? And that is something that is so common. So knowing whether it is an actual fire or if it is burnt toast is a really, really important thing. And that can save you a lot of trouble down the road. There's my burnt toast right there. Which leads us into another story. There was an oh shit moment that I had, okay? And this is Arnold. I'm a big Arnold fan. I just love all Arnold movies, and he's just great. So there was a moment. So I am running more. I'm doing a lot more cardiovascular activity because, since I was only lifting, I figured it was probably good to get a little more heart healthy stuff in. And I even bought a reflector vest and a headlamp from Amazon, because I cannot be bothered to get out of my car to go to some store to buy something. I just have to click it. It's just so easy. So I was running with my reflector vest and my headlamp, and everything was going fine. It was on ocean view. There were stars out. It was just so nice. It wasn't too cold, big waves, so I was looking over. And then I hear a plane flying overhead. And this plane is flying overhead, and of course I look up, but I'm still running. And so I start going like this, and I don't know I'm going like this. And so I'm running, and my foot rolls. Because, I know, on ocean view, it's not all just paved. If you veer, you're going to veer like off the road and like into a ditch. And so that's essentially what I did. I rolled my ankle super hard and put my foot down like this. Thankfully, I didn't fall, but I did roll it really hard, and it hurt a lot. And I'm not going to say the expletive that I said then, but it was very loud. And initially what went through my head was, crap, I'm going to have to show up to work tomorrow with crutches. I'm not going to be able to run. I wanted to run 6 miles that day. It was only mile 2. So many frustrating things. I can't go, like, what am I going to do? Is it going to be like hot and swollen the next day? All these thoughts went through my head, right? So I had this initial reaction of, oh shit, like this sucks. But since I'm giving this presentation, I can't just let that be